Question for him?
Shawn, is this a little different from last year? You've got some veterans, guys with some experience.
Yeah, I think that, this time last year there was a lot of unknown. We got a lot of quarterbacks. Do we have any quarterbacks? What are they going to look like? And, I think we're in a good position in my room, and it's a testament to those guys, their hard work. And I feel like the depth in that room is something that we can keep winning football games and feel good about those guys, how hard they work and who they are.
What's it like having your brother alongside you? That's got to be pretty cool.
Yeah, it's exciting for him, and I think it's really exciting for us. I know what he brings to the table as far as a person, as a coach, as far as, helping us, X and O wise, but also what he's going to bring to the table with the relationship with the players. And he's on the defensive side, so we don't really cross paths that much, but I'm excited for him, but really a great opportunity for us, and he's helping us get better.
Shawn, from where they came from, the way that those guys performed, how proud of them were you just in terms of what they were able to get done last year as pretty much unproven guys?
Yeah, I think I was proud of the success that they had and the success that the team had. I was probably more proud of how they handled themselves, to have Blake sitting in the waist, sitting with his waiting on his opportunity and being ready when his name was called. Gary, when he gets hurt and he's not sulking, he's supporting Blake. And it's probably one of the neatest things I've seen in my time of coaching, of two guys that were selfless and gave everything to the team, and didn't matter who was back there under center, they were supporting each other, and really neat to be a part of, and definitely proud of their hard work and the success that they had.
Do you feel like that's kind of spilled over to this spring? I know there's still kind of a competition there, but what does that kind of look like this year?
Yeah, I think we're competing everywhere. That's the name of the game. Is every position, every year, we're going to put the best 11 on the field on offense and defense. And I think Gary understands that, Blake understands that, Kyron and CJ understand that. And so that's the nature of the beast. Football's about competing every single day. Those guys welcome that, they encourage that, and I think they want that. I don't think they want anything handed to them. They know that competition is going to breed, success, and they're going to keep building from that competition. Gary makes Blake better, Blake makes Gary better, Kyron makes all of them better, and so does CJ.
Shawn, is Blake, is he all the way back from a shoulder injury? Is he looking good?
Yeah. So Blake's 100% back. It was kind of a quiet time knowing what happened in bowl season. But yeah, he's 100% back. Was full go in the off season, and no restrictions at all.
What does Gary have to do? Coach talked about it the other day. He just needs to keep improving. Are there specific things he needs to do to get better?
Yeah, I think that's what we talk about every single day, is what we're trying to get better that day. And I think Gary's focus right now is probably being better, he'll tell you, progressionally. So what that means is being able to work through reads and being balanced in his lower half and being consistent when the first read's not there. So that's something we're working on. And, I think that he's always continued to be a better leader. And I think that's who Gary is. He wants to be better in all aspects. But that'd probably be the one thing that our focal point is this spring. And, I think each one of them, we talked about what they have to do to get better, and that's probably his biggest point of emphasis right now.
What could Blake do to get better?
I think Blake, as far as a passer, has a lot of natural ability. I think he knows just as far as consistency. And one of the big things I think Blake's improved on and worked on is his leadership. And he went through a 8-week leadership training with a lot of other guys, and I think he's learning and growing. And it's hard being a young guy that's kind of thrust into that role. And he's really kind of focused on that. That's one of his goals, is to continue to improve as a leader. And so it's not as much physical all the time, especially at the quarterback position. It's just as much mental as anything else. And so I think leadership's probably his point of emphasis. And when I say, even Gary and Blake, both of them, these are things that they say they need to work on, and I see the same thing.
Besides leadership, are there some other intangibles that you'd like to see from all of your quarterbacks in that quarterback room?
Yeah, I think that as we take the next step as a football team, there were times last year offense may have played better, and later in the year I felt like our defense was really playing good football and carrying us. You look at the Sugar Bowl, I think we as an offense know that we've got to take that next step. We lost some guys on defense, and the quarterback room specifically, our goal is to be way more consistent, to be way more involved. You lose a couple playmakers, and so our game has to step up. And so, we've got to be better in that room, and we understand that and embrace that challenge.
How big is it to have all those O-linemen? And they hardly gave up a sack last year.
Yeah, I think that's huge, for Connor Galvin and Khalil Keith and guys that have been here a long time, and along with Jacob and Grant and some of the young guys. There's a lot of talent in that room. I think that, Coach Mateos and Coach Grimes do a tremendous job developing those guys, and to have all of them back and a chance to keep building, it all starts there. And, you look at our offense and who we want to be and how we want to look, those guys give us that opportunity to be who we want to be.
I guess your guys in particular are excited about having all those pieces back.
I think so. Yeah, I think that they definitely see the work, and I think that's the benefit of a veteran O-line, right? It's kind of takes time to develop that, but to have veterans on the O-line, that's where you win football games. And I think just as much as what we have on the D-line, that's what's exciting. The two lines should be one of the strengths of our football team, and we're excited about that.
Anything else?
Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
Questions for Gerry?
Gerry, a little different coming into this spring than last year. You've got a lot of experience now.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I'll say that's a big difference. Still a lot of things to work on, still a lot of areas to improve on, but best thing about it, I did get some experience last year, so excited about that. Excited to get better and work with this new group of guys, some of the same guys, but it's all exciting.
What kind of things are you working on?
For me, just progression reads, my lower half, creating consistency with my lower half. It's going to help with my accuracy and everything, and kind of working on my deep balls, working on my leadership, a lot of things right now. It's a lot to work on right now.
Does the leadership part come natural to you, or is that something you've really had to kind of force yourself to be?
Honestly, I think it comes natural. I just think it's a lot of areas I could grow in with, you know what I'm saying? Just getting to know everybody, spending time with everybody, learning the team, sometimes you can kind of get close with a group of guys and just hang around those guys, but it's better to be close with everybody, the way we can lead and be a good unit out there on the field together.
Do you like having this kind of competition with Blake and Kyron?
Oh, it's great. I think it brings out the best out of all of us, you know what I'm saying? I think it's all good just to compete. It all makes us play better. We all enjoy it, honestly. I think we have fun with it, and just because we all have the talent. So just going out there and battling it, I think it makes all us better. We all going to be better quarterbacks in the end of it.
When you were kind of first here, Matt Williams talked about you being one of the first guys here, and obviously Blake being a younger guy. Is there some advice that you maybe give to him when you were, his age about, he would get up at the crack of dawn and he would be the first one in here?
Most definitely. I think the more time you spend in that film room, the slower it becomes on the field. So just to those younger guys, I would tell them, get up there and study football. I mean, these coaches have been coaching 10 plus years, 20 years, 30 years. They still in there grinding the same way, learning new things every time they watch film. So I feel the more you watch it, the more you'll learn and the better you'll be on the field. So I would say just watch and learn as much football as you can.
How frustrating was that hamstring? You're playing really well. The team is doing well, and then all of a sudden that happened.
I mean, it was frustrating. I'm going to say it was very frustrating just to have something like that happen at the time it did. But I think everything happened for a reason, so pretty sure there's a reason behind it. But it is what it is at this point. It's in the past. I can't do anything about it, but hey, did it happen. But we still won a championship. Still did finish great, so I can't complain.
Is there a confidence level with you that maybe you didn't have going into last spring? Is there just a different level of confidence maybe?
Honestly, no, sir. I think I'm a confident guy. I know I prepare well. I know I work hard. So, if you prepare, you should never lose confidence in yourself. You know what you do. You know the abilities you have. You know what God gave you the abilities to do. So, just trusting God, He'll make it all happen for you.
What would you say is the biggest takeaway you have from being a starter last season that maybe you didn't realize at this time last year?
It's a grind. I'm going to say, honestly, just going week in, daily, just week in and week out, just grinding. I would say that's like the most thing. Then, playing, practicing all week, that just is a wear and tear on your body. So just taking care of your body and kind of keeping everybody up and preparing for every opponent. Like, you can't look past any opponent because, as you know, things can happen at any time and any game can go any way. So I would say just making sure, taking it one day at a time and one game at a time, that's like the biggest thing for me.
What did you learn about yourself through last year and having to take the back seat with the injury and coming back?
So I learned a few things. I learned that with the person I am, like I talked about my leadership, I really didn't have to be out there to lead. That was the number one thing. I could lead in away from the sideline that still kept the energy, still gave the good vibes and energy to keep everybody up. I felt I could do. I did that on the sideline. Honestly, it was kind of weird. Just put me back in the perspective of when I wasn't playing, when I was backing up Charlie, just learning and observing and helping as much as I can on the sideline. I feel like a coach on the sideline, honestly, just giving out all the knowledge that I'm seeing, everything that's happening in the game, all the different changes and different things going on with defense, just giving it to Blake and giving it to Kyron, make sure that they're prepared and everything. So it was a lot. It was just a lot, honestly. But I learned a lot about myself. And, I just learned a lot, honestly. I learned a lot about myself.
Were you excited about, or how excited were you about all those offensive linemen coming back? Because there were like 4 or 5 of those guys that could have
Cool.
gone on.
Yeah. Oh, I was very excited about that. Just to get another year with those guys in the system again. I mean, that's a big plus. That's as you can go to any team, and once you have a veteran O-line, it's a big thing in the offense because that's where it starts. So that's what we needed, and they came back. I'm glad they came back, and I'm excited to work with them this year.
In the NFL, with all like the kind of wild changes with quarterbacks going like different places, I'm sure you pay attention to it. I mean, what I guess are some of the takeaways that you had, looking at maybe into your future or just any kind of thing like that?
I'm gonna be honest. I watch it, I see it, all of it happening. I really don't think about my future like that. I'm kind of the guy I want to go day to day because I turn on the film, I see things that I could improve on, things I could have did better in this practice. So it's like I can't think about something ahead. I need to think about what I can control that I did yesterday and how can I improve the next day. So I'm kind of just a guy that live that way. I don't like to look ahead at all because you never know what can happen. You don't. So I try to just control what I control and be where my feet are, basically.
Gary, is there a different attitude in this camp at all compared to last year? I mean, you won the Big 12, won the Sugar Bowl. Is anything different with y'all?
I would say the difference is that we know what that feels like. But honestly, that doesn't matter anymore. It's all in the past. I mean, new year, new team. I mean, so we just got to keep grinding. I mean, we can't think about that anymore. I mean, nobody's looking at that. I mean, it's on the indoor and everything like that, but other teams, I mean, we got a target on us now, so it's like, we playing Baylor, we got something to prove against Baylor, so we can't worry about that. We can only focus on ourselves and try to get better. That way we can perform well.
Great. Thank you, Gary.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all.
Thanks, man.
Good. Questions for Blake?
Well, I guess first, how are you physically? Are you all the way back from your shoulder injury?
Yeah, I feel great. I've been rehabbing it for the past 3-4 months, something like that. So, yeah, I've been in the training room every single day, so I feel great.
What was that like last year? Started the Big 12 championship game, had some high-level experience. What was that like for you?
Yeah, it was awesome. Just being able to see how much hard work really shows on the field and all the stuff behind the scenes really shows into your play when you're doing the right things behind the scenes. So it was fun to reap the benefits of that, and so it was a good time.
How do you kind of reset after getting the chance to play in a Big 12 championship game, and now you come back to spring practice and it's a quarterback competition again? How do you kind of reset in your mind from one to the other?
Well, I mean, first I got to know that all that stuff's in the past. You got to put it in the past. It's all behind us. Everyone's going to remember that we did win it, but at the end of the day, no one's thinking about that right now. So I got to think about what's right in front of me, which is spring ball and competing and giving myself my best self to the team every single day.
What's that like between you guys, the competition for quarterback?
Just normal. I mean, it's just like a regular competition. We all have great relationships, so that's good.
What have you learned from Gerry?
I've learned a lot. Gary's very smart mentally, and he's a great quarterback on the field. Me and him, we watched a lot of film last year, so spending a lot of time with him, we became good friends even throughout this competition. So we support each other no matter what happens, so we're great friends.
What kind of things are you working on as far as your game, your skill set?
Just keep working mentally. You never can learn too much mentally, and obviously throwing the football. Today probably wasn't the best day throwing the football down the field, so that's the next thing I got to go work on.
He said your leadership as well. That's something Shawn talked about. That's something you need, and I guess you went through a leadership class or whatever in the fall. How much did that help, I guess?
It helped a lot. We learned about different ways to lead and leading in your own way, and so yeah, I learned a ton going through that institute, and hopefully I can carry that onto the field.
Does leadership come naturally for you, or is that something you got to kind of pull out of yourself?
I think it does come naturally, but it comes naturally in a different way. Everybody leads in different ways, and I'm probably not more of a vocal leader. I'm more of a lead by example, but when something needs to be said, I can say it.
How tough was that, having that shoulder injury? You're playing so well, and then all of a sudden you can play the Sugar Bowl.
Yeah, it was tough. I think I heard it in the first drive of the third quarter, so right when we came out. But yeah, it was pretty tough to play through it. But I'm glad I was able to stay out there and play through it. So.
What's the energy like here this spring compared to last year after all the success you guys have had?
I think it's crazy because I think we have more energy this year. Coming off a great season like last year, like I said earlier, everything's kind of put in the past and you can't really think about that anymore. But I think having the success that we did last year makes us want to have even more success this year. So guys are working even more harder this off season and right now during the spring.
Blake, was it your throwing shoulder? Was it the other one? Or?
It was my throwing shoulder. Yep.
Okay.
That's as you look at the competition between you and Gerry. Last year it was a lot of like unknowns. Y'all hadn't played a bunch of snaps. This year, how is the competition maybe different between y'all after having that experience than it was this time last year?
Yeah, I guess obviously I got some snaps under my belt, so that helps. And Gerry obviously had most of the season, so that helps for him too. Like I said, I mean, we start from ground one or ground zero and see what happens from here.
Thanks, Blake.
Appreciate it. See y'all.
What's it like for you? You got two veterans ahead of you. Are you learning a lot from those guys, or how's that going?
Yeah, it's really good just learning from GB and Blake. Like, me and GB are like super close, so I'll be at his house, like learning from him, I'm finna go back and watch film with him after this, and then just learning with him and Blake and Coach Bell. Just learning from all three of them is just good for me.
Is that one of the biggest things, Gerry, and maybe even the other coach, whoever, getting in the film room, that kind of thing? Is that a big thing that they've pushed on you?
Yeah, it's a big thing because like out of high school, like we didn't really watch film, and like just watching like different stuff like defenses could do. I never like watched that until I got here, and then when I got here, Gerry just took me under his wing and just like let me learn under him, and then he taught me some of his stuff and like how he watched film, and then after that, ever since then, that's what I've been doing.
What do you feel like? Where do you feel like you've grown the most since this time last year?
This time last year, I was like mainly more quiet, so I grown the most in like being more vocal. That's what I'm still working on because I don't feel like I'm there yet vocally, but I'm trying to be there. And then just being consistent like with mechanics, and then like I said, watching film since I never done that before. So all three of those things I feel like I got better at.
With two guys that got to play that much, do you feel like you're kind of climbing uphill against two guys that got to play that much?
I feel like I'm climbing up there just to like be up there with them and just see what I could do and see what I could compare with them and just see what I can do.
Do you feel like though you're in the competition? I mean, some people would look at it as Gerry and Blake, but you feel like you're in the competition?
Oh yes, sir. I feel like I am. Like I don't feel excluded from the competition.
What do you feel you bring to the quarterback room most?
I feel like I bring athleticism, like dual threat, like run and pass. I feel like I can bring deep shots and just all around quarterback movement from all around.
Is there anything in particular, like mechanically or anything that you want to improve on this spring?
Mechanically, I'm working on like my elbow and then just flexioning my knee because sometimes when I throw like quick passes, my knee get like straight. So I'm just me and Coach Bell is mainly working on that.
Anything else?
Great. Thanks, Kyron.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.